Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of No ID Podcast. I got somebody here, and I told him earlier this. It's in my top 10. He's coming off the bench. He did a sold out show at Madison Square Garden. Some of us that's 30 and over can remember him being motif on the Malaney show. He's been on Comedy Central. He's all across the board. I kind of consider him like a smooth jazz type vibe. I've seen him do some martial arts on his Instagram, choking out motherfuckers. I've seen him do some great things. The one and only, the great Seaton Smith. How you doing today, brother?
Thanks, man. Coming off the bench. I don't mind that so much. Let me think about some good bench motherfuckers. I mean, let's see. There was it Cooper off of the Lakers? That's some old shit right there.
Yeah. Lou
Fuck.
Wills.
Man. It wasn't BJ Penn. No, it was fuck. Kerr? Did Kerr come off the bench?
Curry did come off the bench. Robert Horry came off the bench. Robert Horry got 7 rings.
Robert Horry came off the bench, but he was a starter with the Lakers. Fuck, man. Now you got me thinking about this. Good 6-man who I used to love. Fuck. Best 6-man ever. Who is that?
Lou
I know
Williams.
I'm a dude. The Warriors nigga. Is he still a 6-man?
Who?
Remember Iguodala? Wasn't he a 6-man for one of them teams?
Yeah, he was a 6-man for the
Was
Golden
he
State.
Yeah, Golden State for the Durant era.
The Durant, yeah.
Anyways, I don't mind a 6-man. That's what I'm trying to say. Go ahead. Nah, there's a lot of dudes I really respect. I wouldn't put people though live right now. I would not put myself like above. So I'm like, all right, what are you gonna do?
Hey man, I told you earlier. I told the comedy homies because after every open mic or after every showcase, we actually just sit around, just like, yo, did you see this special? Did you see this comedian? Did you see this one? I was like, bro, like I came across Seaton Smith on Instagram. I think it was a Comics Unseen page. And I was like, I just got into like a whirlwind of digging more and more into your craft and your art. So I actually appreciate it because, like I said, it's like a smooth jazz type thing. It's a vibe. You have turned your comedy is like a natural conversation where it's smooth and you know where to pick it up and just keep it there at that level. It's just like you're taking us for a ride for the full set. So I respect it. There's not a lot of comedians, regardless if they're 1 or 2 years in the game or even 20 years in the game, they can really do this. And I've seen a lot of comedy in my time. So I got you in my top 10, like 6-man. It's like you're like Lou Williams, like 3-time MVP, like 3-time, even a former All-Star like Jamal Crawford. It's like you're right there. Like and my greats like Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor. I got Jerry Seinfeld in there. Bernie Mac.
Oh, I didn't know it was all time. I thought it was alive working today. Oh shit. Oh, alive working today. I was like, oh shit. I mean, alive. That's fucking really, really nice of you to say. Thank you. I'm hoping, like, yeah, that half hour was a fun, good energy. I'm hoping the next when I do the hour, I can take it to a new level. There was a new energy I started noticing. I used to be really a lot more spastic, and then I don't know. I got obsessed with just like there is something else going on here connection wise and I kind of want to see. And also in my life, I just started thinking, going on deeper topics. And I just found that going at the deeper topics with such a harsh tone was just didn't feel good. It felt good to like kind of easily. I mean, I can yell about getting beat and it can be funny for a second. But if we could really quietly talk about it for about 10, 15 minutes, you really get somewhere for real. For like, oh shit. And I don't know, like Patrice O'Neal to me just seemed like, I guess, I don't know. His shit was in that world. And I was like, how can I get there and still maintain? So I don't know. It's like, that flow shit to me is real beautiful to me. It's just like, once you get into that world, it's just, that's my favorite. It's all, I remember one time, it was awesome, 930 Club in Washington, D.C. years ago. Paul Mooney, when he got hot after the Chappelle Show. So maybe it was before 2008. Shit, maybe 2004, maybe 2005. Him and then randomly Dick Gregory was like, I want to open up for you. It was fucking weird as fuck when these two greats decided just to do a show together. It was amazing. And it was right when they were all hot. And so everybody was on the edge of their seat. And I remember people just yelling out to Paul to talk about anything. Talk about the white guy did that. Talk about da-da-da. And he would just sit there and pause, and everybody's on the edge of their seat just waiting for his words. And I was like, and he wasn't doing nothing to get them all. He wasn't like, wow, wow. He was just like being profound and efficient and just I don't know, man. You see greats like that, you go, okay, that's what I got to do one day. I got to be great. You got to try.
You do gotta try, man. Like I saw Dick Gregory perform a few times. Like I saw him do the Martin Lawrence first stand up, and it was I was like, who is this? And of course, like I said, social media and the internet just brings you more into it. You know, and then my pop's like, I remember he was a track star. He used to turn off for State Up. I'm like, what?
You got
Patrice.
to
Patrice.
fucking go ahead. But Dick Gregory, let's talk about him for 1 second.
Go
His
ahead.
autobiography was crazy. His life was crazy. He went from a track star to a fat man to a vegan to a protest. An awesome ass comic, and then something else. And then like I saw him come back. He actually did like a weekend at a club when the Martin Luther King statue was opened, and he did an easy 3 hours in his like late 70s, early 80s at that point. Easy 3 hours. I only stayed for about 45, 50 minutes of it just because I get antsy. I can't, as a comics aren't really good at sitting down for that damn long. We got to walk around. We got to talk to the waitress. We got to go talk some shit, come back in. But he was a genius. It's just, I don't know. Dude, yeah. And back to, you can go on Patrice right now if you want.
Yeah, Patrice, at Comedy Central. Because I think around 1 o'clock at night on Fridays, Comedy Central just went unscripted. So that's when I came across Patrice. And then I had found out he was writing for WWF. He wrote The Sexual Chocolate, Mark Henry. And then I saw the sit down one he did where he was with Bob Saget and Roseanne. He started breaking down like how to work rooms. And then I listened to Kevin Hart and what him and Kevin Hart was doing and just how great of a comedian he was. Like yeah, it was amazing, man. I got sucked in. So like seeing his stand up and seeing how he performed, I was like, damn.
Yeah, there was something happening around 2007 for me because him, Louis, and Bill Burr, they were kind of like, if you think of like comedy as kung fu schools, they figured out comedy from the cellar in a way that's like they were the same comic, not like in a hacky ugly way, but like in a really like organic approach. They all three had the same approach, and they all in their own distinct patterns. But like I got to open up for him randomly when I got to do the Opie and Anthony Traveling Virus tour. I won a contest in 2007, and I won car crash comedy where you had to tell jokes, and if they played a car crash, that means your joke sucked. Out of 10 people, I didn't bomb. So I got to do a show. 3 years in the comedy, I got to do a show at the Merriweather Pavilion, which back then I think it was called the Nissan Pavilion, and it was, I guess, like it feels like 13,000 or 10,000 people or something like that. And so yeah, that was really crazy to go from open mics to 10,000 people. And then when I get off stage, like I remember Jim Norton went out of his way to be really like make me feel comfortable and nice. Carlos Mencia when he was really huge. Louis C.K. before he got hot. Fucking Patrice O'Neal just as he's ascending. And Patrice was just nice to me for like 2 hours. Patrice has had like a history of being mean to people, and he was like nice to me. Mainly because I looked at him as a god. I was like, I can't think of a name. I'm like, sir. I'm like, I'm sitting around Pryor right now. I ain't gonna say nothing negative. Pryor punched me in the face. I'm like, I guess Pryor's having a bad day. Nah, he was yeah. Saw him in 2007, and then I saw him in 2008 for the Montreal Comedy Festival. I was like, motherfucker, and that was when he became a god to me. And then 2000. I think 9. I got to open up for him randomly in Texas. And I remember in 2011, I remember he was doing Caroline's, and I was like, I'll catch him the next weekend when he comes back. And I think he died after that. And I was like, fuck, man, I got to stop doing that shit. You got to see the people that are great when you can, man.
Yeah, man, you got to.
Yeah.
Man. Like I met one of my goats back in December. I was sitting down at the first show. He started doing crowd work, and I said, he asked me what I did for him. I said, I'm a comedian. It was D.L. Hughley. I was like, fuck. And he's
How
like,
did
can
he
you?
What happened?
He let me come on to the second show, which was sold out, and do a guest spot. Now, now meeting him, I'm intimidated. I'm like, yo, I watched this guy from the HBO One Night Specials to the Hughley Show, the Kings of Comedy, to I just watched Contarian probably like 2 months before I even got to him. And yeah, I got to do a guest spot. I was supposed to do 5 minutes. I'm not gonna lie, but I blacked out. I was in the zone. I did 15, 20
Wow.
in the sold
Wow.
out show.
Wow. And how was his emotional response to that?
This is exactly what he did. I see you on the other side, baby boy. I was like, oh, okay, all right, So
Did you
and
do your entire set? What happened? Why did you do 15 minutes?
I was supposed to do 5, and
I understand you in your mind when you were on that 15th joke. Did you think to yourself, maybe I've been on this too long?
yeah, I was like, I think I've been up here too long. And then when I came off, it was like, fuck, I just performed in front of a king of comedy. And he didn't trip about it. He was like, I understand. And he was like, you were so good. Like his bodyguard was like, you're so good. And then like all the security would dap me up after. Cause
Oh shit! Okay, well there you go. That's fucking great. Awesome. Usually motherfuckers get angry as fuck. You didn't tell me he was angry. Okay.
No, he was angry. He was
Okay.
angry.
How many comics were on that show?
It was me. It was another local comedian, Kristen Seville's, and
Local
DL
me?
Hughley.
You said local?
Local.
Oh, well then never mind. How did the local nigga do the first night?
Oh, the other one, it was Bodacious. Bodacious actually had an emergency, so he's like a hometown hero around here because he's from Norfolk. So like he had something came up, and that's how I got the spot. But the other comedian that came after me, she did all right, but like
Okay, good.
I got a standing O after mine, and I was unknown. When they said Rome Davis, it was like, eh.
I mean, you should probably edit out this part, but that's actually good. I didn't know the circumstance. That's actually, yeah, if motherfuckers is dying, they actually need a good opener. Oh, you got laughs. Thank God. Be funny. Okay, now this is more context. I thought this sounded like a club weekend. You know what I mean? He gave you, oh, this is like a problem. You solved this problem. That's fucking awesome. That's actually a good hero situation. That is
That
awesome.
is that
Hell,
is.
you do not want to lose a good opener. Fuck, man, it's frustrating, especially with black people. Gotta set that tone right, man. Fucking hell yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Fucking keep rocking it like that. That's how it works. Like people think it takes 20 years to be famous. No, I think it takes about 20 years to be great. Doesn't take 20 years to be famous. My only problem with that is I ain't want to be famous and not great. That was like my main. Like, I ain't want to be like that nigga like with a great bunch of movies and then suddenly can't fucking go do an hour of stand up. I don't understand that because that means my values are probably not in the right way. Because logically you could write actually. Sometimes you can write better material when you ain't hungry. Um, but, but sometimes you can't. I ain't gonna lie. I've also done my best work when I'm like desperate. When I'm like, yo, I'm really funny right now. Oh, that's because I need money right now. I need to fucking get checks. So I don't know. I don't know the right answer is. It's just fun to live this life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. Do you remember like that first open mic, that first your best mic, and then your worst mic that you ever did? Do you remember those times?
You asked 4 questions right now. The
Yeah.
first open mic, my worst open mic, and my best open mic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my worst open mic. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, they're all. I mean, when they get bad, I don't know. When they get so bad, you start to at one point start to learn to love the bad too, because it's almost like Lao Tzu's Art of War, where it's like you don't really. If you have an army and you have some cowards, do you get rid of them, or do you use the cowards for other shit that might be useful? You know what I mean? It's like, do I need to hate? Am I gonna be mad at this shitty room with like 3 people and the TV on, or is there some jokes and some things I can work on right now that I can need for a desperate situation? Because it's like, and I like to work and think in parallels. That's why I started fighting. And even now, I started motorcycle. Even the motorcycle training is all about awareness and thinking about practicing for the worst case scenarios. And there are gonna be times where like there's not gonna be 13,000 people laughing. There's just gonna be couple two, and you got to figure out exactly what they want to talk about to get their attention because it ain't gonna be about you right now. And you got to figure out how to find that thing sometimes because you have no idea because you are way two opposite people. How can we relate? And God damn it, some days you're gonna have to relate. Another story, this is a side note.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between a good comic and a great. Chris Rock, as we unarguably a great comic. There was one award show. I forgot which one. It's the last 5 years. It was pre Will Smith, obviously. But he did the same Will Smith level of shit before Will Smith. There was one show where he is a writer. He likes to prepare. He makes scripts. He is a fucking workhorse at that. And so his teleprompters are not fucking around. That's my jokes. I'm working on it. There was this one show where the teleprompter went off and they were live. Well, a good comic would fucking tell the world, uh-oh, this went off. What do we do? Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. A great comic makes the situation work. And that's what he did. It didn't work. Well, who's here? Who's here? Yeah, we gonna talk. Now we got a commercial. All right, what's next? Like that's, you know what I'm saying? And that's a motherfucker who's worked and prepared and like and practiced and like drilled and honed and became a great artist. You know what I'm saying? Like it's I don't know, that's the shit that fascinates me at this age. Like Jesus. Like, ooh, I can ramble about this shit. There's this one documentary on YouTube everybody can check called Watt Stacks. Watt Stacks. It was a documentary that was supposed to try to counteract when everybody was doing that Woodstock. There was a Woodstock documentary and everybody went crazy. Well, black people, they made, well, let's make a black version of it called Watt Stacks. And it was a concert they had at the LA Coliseum in LA, or it was a Rose Bowl. I think it was a Rose Bowl. And they had like a bunch of great bands. Isaac Hayes headlined it. The Staple Sisters, and I forgot the guy's name. They were on stage. This story's going long, but I'm telling this point. Point being, this dude was such a I just respect MCs. Got on stage, he's doing his thing, and everybody was sick. He was on the field, everybody's in the stands. He's like, I want everybody to get on here, get on the field, start dancing with me, get on the field. So suddenly, like 10,000 people are just slowly, respectfully getting on the field and respectfully dancing. And then somebody to security tells him, hey man, we actually can't have them on the field. He's like, oh shit, I'm bad. Hey y'all, I'm bad. So here we go, in rhythm. He was like, all right, we're gonna get off the field. We're gonna get off the field. Get off the field. He made everybody get off the field. And then there was one dude who didn't want to get off the field. He sat there like an asshole, like, I don't want to get off. He's like, we got a problem now. And then he started doing, he started fucking like just doing the dozens on him. He's like fucking line after line after line. Look at this dude. He looked like that. Drums started jumping in. And then get other people, get these motherfuckers off. And he just to see a man with art control 10 to 20,000 people. It's like, you don't just, that nigga didn't learn that day. That dude has been in places where niggas had shotguns and fucking, he had to learn how to deal with shit. So these 10,000 people wasn't shit. It's for kids. Ain't nothing. You got to worry about a motherfucker who I gotta get my money. So, you know, I don't know. I respect great artists and great professionals. And yeah, seeing that shit happen, man.
Yeah, it's like the block party, Dave Chappelle's block party, when you had the technical difficulties right there in the movie. Straight great artist right there because he was on the fly. He brought in some crowd work. He started bringing the guy with the puppet because it was raining out, so he was just going off the top, and that's great. That's a great performer right there. That's crowd work. That's the artistry of actually drilling and being in those crazy rooms. Like I was in a room one time with a Malcolm X hat on and a fucking Muhammad Ali shirt on, and I'm thinking I'm in front of a MAGA rally with all these white folks, and I had to. I thought I wasn't gonna make it out there on a Tuesday. I said, "Woo, good God!"
Where were you at?
This was this restaurant called Bad Habits.
Wait, it was a black place? A white place?
It was a white place.
Bad Habits. What kind of food they serve?
Like a bar. I don't even remember the food. I know they had something. It was like codfish. It was spaghetti. It was like Italian. It had fish.
Why were you there? Was it a comedy show?
Yeah, it was open mic.
I'm telling you, man, comedy puts you in places. This is why it's really hard to be super ignorant. If you do all the rooms, you just start to get to know. Because you'll see the racism. And I ain't saying it ain't there. You just start to, I'm not forgiving it either. You just start to see it sooner and deal with it sooner and go like, well, let me avoid this motherfucker. You just see, I don't know. I've done deep Pennsylvania, and I've also done deep Arkansas, and I'm like, it's more racist north. You start to see shit like that. You're like, okay, because northern niggas will actually say it. Southern people actually know what's wrong, so they'll go around it. Northern people just, well, I fought for you, man. So nigga, what the fuck is wrong? I don't know. But now I'm really meandering. This is fun. On a Saturday, I probably should eat food because. Keep going. What's the next question?
So in these 20 years of doing comedy, what have you learned? Like, what is that thing that you've learned that you've kept with you going every time you perform on the stage?
I think the biggest thing really is take care of myself emotionally first before I try to take care of other people's emotions. I used to get on stage all angry and shit, and I didn't really understand. Human beings are emotionally speaking, like takes about 15 minutes to change a person's emotion. Like if you're really angry, it's gonna take about 15 minutes for you to stop. being angry. If you actually are trying to be, if you actually stop looking at the angry thing and actually breathe, you know. So that's why a lot of times when you have anxiety for a stage, you kind of gotta give yourself at least 15 minutes to just get yourself to either a calm place or a fun place. But that preparation time is the most important. Outside of the jokes in general, the jokes will come if you prepare. But I think that's my biggest one right now. Like, yo, support. So I used to wonder why like famous people did that shit. They're always in their dressing rooms, closing the doors. Like, what? Why are they being so diva-ish? It's like, no. There's a thing that happens. You can't expect to control other people's emotions when you can't control yourself. Like I've said that twice now, but that's important. It's like you're pissed off, but you're gonna make other people laugh. How do you think that's gonna work? Do you not know how emotions work? That was some other shit. Like great writers, great screenwriters, directors. They always say that like being a writer is just a writer. You're a great psychologist. You're a great archaeologist. You're a great researcher. You're multiple things. And in comedy too, you're not just the greats aren't just making fun of shit. There's other things going on. Like you look at Carlin. His wordplay wasn't just wordplay. It was like playing on our consciousness of what our ideas of what life was like, just with these little word plays. Because we build our life through our words. This is my crib. This is my home. This is my life. That we always use a word. So it was like to break down those words and realize those meaning really kind of always just breaks down your foundation of living in life. But also Patrice O'Neal did the same thing because it's like he took this whole big myth and big archaeological idea of like, I mean, this is fucking obviously 20 years before me too. It's fucking crazy. But he was trying to take around this archaeological idea of trying to tell dudes like me back then who was being dominated by his girl. He was just like, you're not supposed to be treated this way. Because that's what I heard. A lot of people heard the whole misogynistic shit. And now a lot of toxic dudes now use it to get attention. And it's just funny because a lot of people don't understand when you hear toxic masculinity like Andrew Tate and all them shits. If you take out the term woman, and just put blank, every group has a person that says that same shit. Like the actions are the same. It's just the word, the labels are different. All these niggas do this, all these. I remember I had that epiphany once. I was doing a show in Boston, and it was like 9 white comics before me, and they all did a bunch of Polish jokes. And it was weird. After the 5th comic did Polish jokes, I was like, this is fucking weird. I guess this is a thing y'all do. And then eventually I started to close my eyes and go, what if you replace Polish with nigga? And I was like, wait a minute, these jokes are, I can hear them saying that. And I was like, wait a minute. A lot of stereotypes are like that, man. They ain't really specific like that. It's just fucking, I don't know. How I got on that tangent and shit is weird. But yeah, that's interesting to me.
It is. I see it.
Oh, yeah. Remarkable Comics. That's what I was talking about.
It is. Like I did a show where they literally talked about jacking off the whole time. I was like, damn, like this is all we do. Nobody's getting no actual vagina, no nothing. I was like, yo, this is too much. It was too much. I actually came on the stage. I was like, I think I had to clench my pearls a little bit when I got on the stage. I was like, yo, y'all talk. There's too much dick talk right now. Like, whoo. And I know they was happy when I went up there because I don't talk about. I stay away from the butt jokes and the dick jokes. I tend to stay away from that shit because I don't really think. I mean, you can go on the stage and say, "Man, I jacked my dick off," or "I stuck a thumb up my butt," and you'll get a laugh. But that's not the art. Like I take a class. Well, I go to a safe space, a performer safe space every Thursday, where we kind of break down all the arts from comedy, poetry, music, acting. And we start to break down the different things. Like now that I've been doing comedy 4 years, 2 years in the pandemic, I've watched specials after specials. And a lot of times, and please don't take this any wrong way, I like to watch it on mute. Like I watch your special on mute and the way that you focus on the crowd work, especially when you hit the Donald Trump tried to be racist. He tried.
Mm-hmm.
You were making a connection with that crowd in front of MSG and they got what you were saying. They was like, oh, he's about to talk about Donald Trump, but you took him for a spin. Like it was a wordplay and a setup that I actually appreciate the art of. Because I've been to professional shows before, and I've seen professional comedians like just really have no subject, no no callback, no setup, no nothing. It was just straight dick jokes. Let me just do all crowd work for an hour, and people were laughing here in Virginia, and I laughed too. But when I got back, I was like, it was really nothing that sizzled in my spirit from them, and I was like, damn, I'm really out of $50. But but it is what it is, you know. Like I want to see you perform one day, hopefully.
Yeah, I gotta set this tour thing up. I'm gonna I think I'm gonna try to do something this fall. I want to do a bunch of small one-nighters and just see like what it's like. Yeah, I got like yeah, back to your reference about dick jokes. I find that like yes, I respect motherfuckers who are clean and don't talk about their dick because they are actually gonna make a lot more money in life. And I'm proud of them and I'm like, yo, keep working on it. I know for me, since my hardest laughs in life usually ended up being dick jokes, I kind of like can't let it go. You know what I mean? It's like one of those. I can still always reference like, oh, but that junk, like, but it's a childish to me. Like I remember one time, and this is really really bad, but we used to do sing-alongs in sixth grade. I did sing-alongs every week. It was boring. It got really annoying. You know, proud to be an American. Because at least that, what the fuck is this? It was horrible. But then one time we were doing the Aladdin song. I can show you the world. And then I remember hearing some dudes laughing. What are y'all laughing about? It's like, replace the word world with dick. And then in my sixth grade, I just couldn't stop laughing. I can show you my dick. Shimmer, shimmer, and shimmer. Tell me, princess. And I don't know, at sixth grade, I just love that shit. And so, yeah, I'm still a sixth grader, but I'm also sometimes got to talk about Trump and say some smart shit. And it's like that kind of, I don't know, juxtaposition made me giggle for that special. Like, it's really, because also we're all animals. We really only care about food, sex, safety, family, and love. And once you don't break those things down, it always boils down. That's the driving force that kind of keeps things. And then, things get very intellectual in our minds. But the intellect always is connected to our animal. We're animals acting like we know what we're doing. It's kind of how it works.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. That's a nicer way to say it. That's supposed to say there's a whole evil world with idiots. Nah, we're just animals trying to figure it out.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
How is it working with John Malaney? Because I had him like seventh man on the bench. To be honest with you, how is it working with Baby J?
I hear you. I mean, I think he's a genius. For me, he helped out a lot of flaws that I did not notice. I think like comedy is an apprenticeship. I think the best comics opened up for really great comics and the shift happened for them too. So I think like, in my opinion, there's a lot of comics who figured out themselves, right? But uh like being with him for 2 years, I got to be like, oh, like just the little things I wasn't even noticing that was just to tighten the whole shit up. Made me a lot more confident and a lot more fun. And being around celebrities is fun as fuck. It's like, oh shit, this famous motherfucker's here. Like that Malala woman who won the Nobel Prize. Her, she came and just backstage say hello, just that shit. You fell, Jon Stewart, and then her. You're like, fuck, I ain't fucking Forrest Gump land, nigga. It's crazy.
Man, yeah, man. I watched Baby J. And then, like I said, I got into a span of watching the Malaney show, and you played Motif, sparring comedian, and I was like, that's real shit right there, because we go through those things where we gotta write, and then we ask people, how does this sound, or you trying to come up with a set, or you may get stuck on the joke. I'm stuck on a joke right now that's kicking my ass, and I don't want to give it up because it's so good in my mind. But we'll work on it.
Yeah, no, jokes are awesome like that, man. They're just seeds. Got to water and keep coming back to, especially if you say it out loud to yourself and just keep saying it out loud. I mean, also, I'm a nerd, so there's also a lot of books on how to help you expand on your thing. And they always introduce you to the main four introductory books. Judy Carter. I think Judy Carter's a very incomplete picture of a book. I may help a lot of people get them started, but I don't know. There's so much more deeper things to consider, especially if you want to get better. I mean, there's a lot of comics who kind of start to learn on the fly. but I'm not one of them niggas. I need to like do it. I need to see what I did. I need to study other motherfuckers. I need to just be a nerd about it. That's what I've noticed. I'm like, again, doing other arts. Once you see other arts, you got to see how you excel. Like once I started fighting, I was like, oh, this is how I learn. And then like my ego was getting in my way with a lot of comedy shit. Like a comedy shit, I'd be like, man, motherfuckers don't understand what I'm doing because I'm deep as shit. And then when like every time I got criticism in comedy, that's how I reacted. But then when I started fighting, um, anytime anybody gave me criticism, it was because I was getting punched in the face. So I realized, oh, they're trying to help me not get punched in the face. And that kind of started letting me like open more to criticism and like, oh, okay, well, how are you trying to help me not get punched in the face now in comedy? Okay, I can see what you're thinking. So
yeah. Yeah, that's why I go to that class on Thursday, man. I need the criticism to see where I'm at. And it gives me a chance to network with other creatives as well too. So, but the way me and James Cooper were talking about your stand up, cause I was like, bro, you got to hear this guy, man. He's like, man, I've been watching Mexican Got on Boots, Ali Sadiq. I'm like, okay, that's cool, and he's a great comedian. But listen to Seaton Smith. So I sent him your clip. He was like, yeah, okay, I see where you're trying to go at. My question is to you: what's up with the suits? Is that like the style? That's the like because you came with the suits. You like I said, it's a clean look. It's like smooth jazz, bro. It's like this shit is
yeah,
genius. You cleaned up the look, like because
that
I
was fun. It was fun just because it was Malaney was wearing a suit. You know, it was an accident. We were doing a show at the Red Rocks in Colorado, and Red Rocks is like an amazing, probably the best venue to me in the country because it's in the desert and it's an outside. It's an amphitheater and it's cut literally out of rocks. So it's like they found a rock, cut the seats, cut the stage, cut the walls, and then you can go like see the Denver skyline, but also watch the show. It's one of the most beautiful places, and they have the big screens and stuff. So we were doing the show on an Easter Sunday, and we had a 3 p.m. show and a 7 p.m. show. And somebody else suggested, hey, it's Easter Sunday. Why don't we all just wear suits for Easter Sunday? And yeah, we did the show. And that was when Chappelle came the first time. And I remember he had to wait in line because it was just such a big place and small ways to get in. He had to wait in line anyway, like everybody else. So he had to sit through my set. And I think he's known me for years and never had to sit through my set. I don't know. It's one of those things where, busy. So you had to, but when you're two big mega screens in front of, 13,000 people, you're in line, you might as well look up. And it was, I think it was, and he's like, yeah, you looked awesome up there. You were really funny. You look great. I don't know. That compliment was like, one of the 10th compliments that day. And I was like, well, Spell thinks I look great. I'm gonna wear these suits. Suits are fun. And, that was just fun. Yeah. It's interesting though, too, because I thought if I wore the suits, people would stop comparing me to Chappelle as much. And then that didn't happen at all. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to let that shit go. Because there's nothing I can do about that. Because like me and Chappelle, we both have professor parents, both started comedy in DC, both admire the fuck out of Tony Woods. So what are you gonna do? I don't know. I admire a bunch of other people, but I love Tony Woods. What the fuck? Tony Woods is one of the best geniuses of my time. I think he's one of the best ever. So
yeah, I saw Tony Woods last summer at the Funny Bone, and I remember him from Bad Boys of Comedy. So wow,
amazing too. He has collected some amazing sets on TV. Like he's just, yeah, it's a brilliant dude.
Yeah.
Saw him once. My first time I got to see him, he was in a fucking sushi restaurant, had open mic in DC. And I remember he was 17 years of comedy at that point. I asked him such an ignorant question. I was like, how much time do you think you have at this point? He was like, I've been doing comedy 17 years. Hours and hours, nigga. Get out of my face. It was such a geeky question, but I was like, oh, wow.
I know. And just to see him from Bad Boys to Comedy, and then I saw I forgot the set, but I remember the joke. He was like, man, when you ever go to your job and say, man, fuck this job. I forgot where he was at, but I watched his sets. I've listened to him a lot. And I was like, I got another homie that's a storyteller. I'm like, bro, you gotta watch him. Like his stories is very descriptive. It's not too much. It's just like the right punch. Like this man spent a whole 6 minutes on Bad Boys of Comedy talking about his trip to Jamaica, going to the islands. And I said, if you watch Seaton Smith, like you got to watch his wordplay and his callbacks. It's like I say like a Carlin, somewhat, but I say
That
he had.
last whatever Carlin did, yeah, it was.
It was like it was like a Carlin. I was like, this is great. But I do appreciate everything, like giving me this interview, because I was in Connecticut for a competition. I was doing some trials for AGT. I was doing a lot of stuff, and I appreciate the interview. I was telling everybody, like, bro, I got this guy. Even before today, I was like, I got this guy, man. He sold out MSG. This is Seaton Smith, man. I got to get him on this show because he's, like I said, you my sixth man coming off the bench. So
But let's be clear, that's very nice of you to say. I didn't I didn't sell out. I was opening for Malaney. One day I will. I'm not going to deny the universe. Yes, one day I will sell out MSG, but that was definitely his show. It was dope though because I remember I seen Louis C.K. open up for Ricky Gervais, and then Louis C.K. did MSG. So you kind of go like, all right, let's see if we can get that going.
see, that's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, man.
Is there any advice that you want to give to those comedians in the game? Like anything you want to say to them for them to keep going or find their lane in this comedy world, because it's a lot. It's a good path.
Um, I mean, art and business are two different crafts. So appreciate. I don't know, like, what is it? What advice? Yeah, the advice. The other one was just get your emotions right. I mean, really, comedy is an awesome ass tool to actually help you emotionally. It's interesting. I got into hypnotherapy and I got like understanding how it come by, where it came from, and the roots of it all, and realizing techniques in hypnotherapy were implemented in the theater arts in the 50s. So a lot of the emotional product. Let me use better words to be more clear. So you ever see motherfuckers do improv?
Yeah,
You ever see how they're like really passionate about improv?
yeah.
That is hypnosis at its best. They're doing group hypnosis exercises as posing as help, as fun games, and they are fun and they are games. But they also were taken from medical situations to help people deal with traumas and shit. And a lot of our own comedy based things we do in stand up, what we've learned do come from that. We just don't know it. It's just one of those like, oh fuck, like yeah, man. I don't know, if you ever taken communications and realize, just not. This isn't even paranoid shit. This is basic marketing. Marketing understands how to like actually go talk to that animal side of you to make you buy shit. You know what I mean? And like they actually weaponized it. While we're artists and we just want to just be, we just want attention. While marketers know what we're doing and actually use it for some shit. Kevin Hart actually knows it. That's why he's a billionaire. But a lot of us are just floating in the wind. So I don't know any of this advice for young comics. Just understand the big scope of it all. Like, you know what I mean? Like you are a businessman. Just this could be a fun business. So have fun with it. Nobody's gonna give it to you. Don't forget that. There's no giving in this business. But I don't think nobody thinks that no more. I was in the transition from like, I think I was talking to Hannibal Buress about that. I think Hannibal was like, I think he would have been the last motherfucker who was just giving shit. Because there was a time where motherfuckers if you just work the business model before 2013 or even 2010, my business was a solid business model. Comedy was be funny, go to the right clubs. Somebody will see you. You'll get picked up. That was the formula, and I even got picked up by agents from that formula. And that was a legit formula. But now that's not a formula no more. Like that is not. You are not going to be given nothing. You have to bring value, and then it's crazy. So that's all I can say.
Yeah, man. If you guys do get a chance, those that's listening or watching, just type in Seaton Smith on YouTube. I promise you will not be disappointed. My podcast is called No ID. This is the eighth season.
When's this coming out? When's this coming out?
Shit, I'll make you the season finale. So 19.
Okay, well by then I got my special is gonna be the album is gonna be released by 800 Pound Gorilla. and they're going
Okay.
to be releasing a special on their page, which has millions of followers. So either check my page out or check out his page, where it's going to be a nice blow up. So this fall, may see a lot more. It's nice.
Yeah, I follow 800-pound gorilla actually.
Well,
Uh,
good. So, so Mal will be happening this fall, man. I'm really excited for that. It's gonna be cool.
I'm excited for you, brother. I want to see. I know I'm gonna see great things. I already see great things, but
Thanks, man. Thank you.
you know what I mean. I'm just giving you flowers, brother. So I think everybody deserves them while they're on this earth. You can follow.
Hey, thank you. You do. You are absolutely right. Literally, everybody forgets. No matter where you're at, you forget. Like what the you're like. I remember I told a friend, "Hey, I released a special 6 months ago." I was like, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't. I literally don't know who is paying attention." I had no idea. You know what I mean? Like I literally was on 2 radio shows actually earlier this week, and I just said yes. After the special, they were like, "You got a special?" I was like, "How did y'all invite me on? You don't even know what I'm talking." They were just nice people, and I was like, okay, so those two people don't know, but so it's like weird how you never know. So it's
Never do.
so thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Make sure you look up Seaton Smith on all platforms, man, and check out the comedy album. Check out Live from MSG on YouTube. Check out some of his earlier work. Um, Follow me, Comedian Rome. Follow the podcast, No ID, on all platforms. If you looking on social media, it's No ID Media TV. Not only will you get podcasting, but you'll get stand up comedy as well too. I post a lot of my clips up there as well too. So we're trying to make it. We still in the mama's basement right now, so we're trying to make it. Appreciate you, brother.
I like this. This is fun.
Hey
I should do
man,
this.
you should do this
Nice.
more often, brother. You know what I mean?
I just call my friends, bombard them. Hey, man, just FaceTime friends randomly. I should be doing that. Just annoying. Doing my podcast, nigga. What up?
Hey man, you're a goat in my eyes, man. I definitely, like I said, 6 men coming off the bench, man. That's dead or alive. So
Nah, man, that makes me really proud. That makes me really, really, really nice of you to say. Yeah, that really, 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 really nice. I'm not, to be honest. I actually don't want to be the greatest because you kind of don't grow after that. You kind of sit around in your own stew and be that. I'm like, nah, I just want to keep getting. I like the idea of like, even though nobody really wants to talk about this man because no, he's very pariah, but Cosby
ooh,
stopped growing. That last special he did, you can objectively say it's much better than himself. Like every line of it, it was his performance, his structure. I loved it much more than himself, in my opinion. And you go, oh wow, I can't believe it. Fucking late '70s, this dude still. Because I saw Don Rickles right before he died. He was still sharp, but it still was old shit. So it's like, huh, interesting. So, anyways, um, yeah, keep growing until you die. That's kind of my whole thing.
yeah, definitely, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, well, without committing crimes and shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people sleep on Cosby a lot too, man. They don't realize like the shows, the movies, and even his time in like Uptown Saturday Night. That's like one of my favorite movies, and I fell in love with him. And then people don't realize, like even in his later career, if we just talking television, Cosby, in my opinion, was better than Cosby Show. That's when he was Hilton Jacobs, the retired baggage handler. That was a
Mhm.
great fucking. That was a great fucking show. That was a great fucking show.
Really, that was your argument. You thought it was better. Interesting. Um, I think it was a different time, and that's probably was emotionally. I know that their window of time, they got off the Cosby Show. Oh shit, my shit getting low. But anyway, I just don't get nerdy. But the Cosby Show, I think, relied a lot on the cultural references. You know what I mean? Like if you ever do a comedy show where you'll see a comic will just start pandering to the crowd. I just want to talk about all these beautiful black women in this crowd right now. You're nothing but beautiful black sister. Clap for yourself, beautiful. Like he would do shit like that. It would be like Jacob Lawrence painting. Let's talk about that for an entire episode. Or like this is black. Like your favorite memories of that show is not necessarily funny except for like when Elton was doing an impression of Cosby. That was a funny moment. But the big moments was when they did the Ray Charles song.
Yeah,
That's the shit where you're like, oh, reference upon reference upon reference. And then the Cosby was just hard jokes. So I was like, I was in a different place emotionally. It was just like, because I was early, 89 was like, oh my God, black on TV? What? And then we had that crazy black explosion. And then by the late 90s, we got fucking dirty and raw. And the culture had moved on. Because like we went from like once we did Def Jam, it's like we started losing motherfuckers. It was like a weird channel because that's when Black Room started to get super, super raunchy. And then it was like, well, now you only have a certain dynamic market that can listen to you. It's like once you go super raunchy, you can't go broad. Now we're getting specific in business and shit, but whatever. It's like I don't know. I'm to be obvious, whatever. Now I'm just rambling. Yo, thank you for this interview. This has been dope.
Man, appreciate you even doing the interview, man. And yeah, I'm definitely look forward to the album coming out. I definitely look forward to the album coming out.
Yo, man, thank you very much, man. Yeah, I was really interested in doing the arena laughter with the situation. I don't know. I think I'm actually more excited to listen to the album because I got like two different sound people in the arena, and I got this movie guy, and I just wanted to get the sound of people walking in. You hear it's like literally footsteps. It's like such a delicate fucking thing, just because it was like I want you because the problem with arena sounds, you don't hear how crazy it is. It's fucking you got to understand what it's like to have 13,000 people in one room. It's just overstimulation. Anyways, yeah, watch it, enjoy it, comment, share, everybody, friends. And yeah, man, watch out for my new shit when I got a tour coming.
Yeah, man. Hopefully you come through Virginia, brother. So I look forward to it.
Absolutely, man. I'm definitely gonna do this East Coast run this fall. Hell yeah.
My man, appreciate you, brother.
All right, brother. All right.
All right.
Peace, man.
Peace.